we know about all the challenges, we know about all the barriers, we know what is not there, that we know, but how can we make that it's going to happen, even that there are challenges and even that there are barriers. So this forum is about building up on positive experience here in Ghana.
Since each child has unique needs in the inclusive setting, we sit down as a team, and a team is made up of special educators, psychologists, regular classroom teacher, a social worker, and then we come out with a program for the child to correct or minimize some of his special needs problems. Our school is a model school, and we think that whatever we do there is very good and it needs to be replicated throughout the country. Giving education to special needs child is a teamwork, and we have to collaborate with parents if only we want to achieve our objectives and goals.
We are now in our 10 different workshop sessions. And before the workshop session, we train facilitators how to actually facilitate so that participants can come out with the expected views that can inform the guidelines. You can even see on my back a group of people working on a policy. They are critically looking at what can go into policy formulation or issues that can guide us to formulate a framework for the implementation of inclusive education in Ghana. Apart from policy, there are other issues on barriers and challenges facing inclusive education. That's another topic. Another topic is looking at critically at the curriculum versus inclusive education. At the moment, in the practices that we had, we realized that curriculum is a big barrier to implementing inclusive education. At the moment, the curriculum plan is focusing on ordinary children. But if you implementation of inclusive education, all children should be taken on board, should be considered for curriculum. Today, the curriculum is rigid. The few children with special needs we are trying in the mainstream are not being managed well because teachers are so much concerned with examination. The focus is on examination. Little attention is being paid to the individuality, the uniqueness of children with special needs. And for that matter, there is a need for us to look at the curriculum. And I know by the end of the forum, we shall get views, ideas, which can suggest how the curriculum can be planned to promote inclusive education. Another key area is on teacher training. Teachers play a very key role for the success of implementation of inclusive education. So we are critically looking at teacher training. At the advent of inclusive education in Ghana, the Special Education Division, in collaboration with University of Cape Coast and University of Education Winneba, we tried to review the syllabus on special needs in the teacher training colleges. We are happy today, all the 38 training colleges now are having syllabuses on special needs and for that matter inclusive education. And we hope, after giving the teachers who are training the teachers in the training colleges, we are thinking of organizing service training for them to give them adequate knowledge and skills to enable them deliver effectively as far as training of teachers is concerned. That is also receiving our focus. And we're also looking at how examinations are conducted. At the moment, again, all examinations are strictly greatly for pen and paper. But the practice that we had over the period is suggesting, is revealing to us that some children who have special needs cannot use pen and paper for examination. So we are now working with exam council, with some examination council, to start thinking of how some children can be assessed orally. Some children can also write, and we are now trying to let Western Examination Council assess them using the computer. All these things are being worked out in collaboration with Western Examination Council, and we are happy they are opening up and they are ready to learn about the new trends in managing children with special needs. And I hope by Friday, when the 3-day forum will end, we shall get a lot of ideas which can inform the division and other collaborators to sit down and then put on paper a very wonderful framework that can actually guide the future implementation of inclusive education.
Because it's a very well-structured workshops run by trained facilitators, participants brought their expertise to bear on the highly interactive forum to provide a structure to move things forward. Each group contributed a piece to the puzzle to create new policies and to change attitudes towards disability in Ghana. An open session where participants shared ideas for a group presentation concluded an exciting and fruitful second day.
Then we are also looking at, you see where you are now, you have to make.
One of the things that I decided to do with my life when I became disabled, so I wasn't in the university then, so I realized that, well, if I can't walk, I can talk. So I decided to take the challenge and to advocate for others who didn't have the opportunity. We have to leave the issues. I realized that I personified what I speak. I'm in the wheelchair, there's no access. People see me not accessing the facility, you know. So it was to bring some of these things to the table. I mean, the presidency that I came to, people had questions. Even in my own constituency, people felt, how could a wheelchair user be a president? You know, but I felt that this was a challenge because the logo of the disability access is a person in a wheelchair. The law has come 2006. We haven't had much in terms of implementation, but that's one of the things that Ghana suffers from. Programs like this, for example, after this workshop, the question is, what next?
I'm a teacher of the deaf, specifically headmistress of Sabulugu School for the Deaf. I'm here to participate in this workshop on inclusive education because we want stakeholders to know that even though we are about to start inclusive education, not all children with a hearing impairment can be put into the inclusive system. There are children with severe impairments who cannot benefit from inclusive education.
We added assessment centers. Therefore, we are saying that assessment centers should be mobile. The government should equip all assessment centers with vans so that instead of the school children moving from communities to the assessment centers, rather they should go to the community schools.
We are suggesting that we should rather have what? Mobile assessment centers or mobile assessment vans so that that assessment van can move from community to community to assess our children before they go to school.
It's a short-term measure, but in the long term, we are saying that every district should have an assessment center.
We felt that we should do a review of the inclusive education and special needs component of the curriculum in order that the teacher trainees can be brought on board. So the specific activity there is review existing curriculum components on inclusive education and special needs, and then add methodology aspects in colleges of education. For instance, we need to integrate inclusive education methodology in all subject areas and increase credit hours. So it's expected that we are aware, even though there's a bit of awareness in providing amount of special needs education in the training colleges, this aspect of integrating methodology in it is not there. So we are emphasizing we need to integrate methodology in the teaching of inclusive education areas across other subject areas such as science, maths, and English.
Stand up, 1, 2, 3,